Okay, so I think by this time, oh, Richie was actually gonna play with. Sorry, real quickly from the last note, Richie was playing with us with Tati for a little bit too, and again, unfortunately, he wasn't able to stay. Tati again, unfortunately, we weren't able to work it out. Um, and I don't remember how it happened, but I think eventually, because Kevin was there, but then he didn't get to play with us anymore, and I think he was focusing on some other work as well. He had a lot on his plate. Um, we eventually got to play with Amber again. She kind of came back. Yay. And I don't know how, but with that came Matt. Matt was another very chill cat, very chill individual, character drummer. I guess he came from within the circle that she used to play with, some friends. He also helped expand like our group and awareness of other people. Um, and yeah, I think he really added this very interesting flavor as well. And I think maybe because of the chemistry that him and Amber had too, and everybody had their own unique chemistry with each other. But I think they had a really nice smooth gel with each other. It's like, her funkiness, his kind of funkiness in a way too. Very downbeat, but very like yeah, we can. I don't know. It was fun. It was fresh, and I think that was very for me at least. It was very energizing too. To like, oh wow, like okay, we went through all this hoo ha, but now we have a fresh start, and I think by this time, the idea that like okay, these are the things that we've learned so far from these mistakes that we've had. This is something brand new. Let's go for it. I will say, we made some amazing music together. There is an album that was never really fully finished, but because we got to play some shows as that four group: Esteban, myself, Amber, and Matt. The album was also supposed to be called Hope or Dia de los Muertos, and by this time, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but psychedelic rock, that was kind of the core of the band, I think. Even then, maybe it wasn't always, but there was post-punk. There was, eventually, by this time, we started incorporating more Latin sounds. Funky, electronica, dreamy. And yeah, it was very interesting. It was, because throughout every single group, too, I think I mentioned this, but like the music would change. The group of music that was made, and Esteban, by this time too, his knowledge of music was growing. He went to school to study music too. He was starting to play piano. He was incorporating piano by this time into the songs. That also added this like new element. Because I'm just saying, like, I never really got proficient at piano. I would just maybe mess around with the synth. But for him to have that like whoa, like that glass feel, keyboard feel, it was just a whole nother, every time, like there was just a whole nother world to explore, and music that meant it and blended into something interesting. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play with them, and incorporating like I made beats on, I really like had an electronic phase, and I really got into beats, and I made a beat on my phone, and we played it with the group. I connected to the PA. That was so much fun. And by this time, we moved into this our new studio with row rehearsal. They had a new building that they opened up in by East LA. This was a row rehearsal 5 or something. I don't remember, but I remember going there with Esteban because he was working with them for a bit, and the building was gutted. Like it was, I don't want to say it was shit, but it was like the building was like they were basically building it. Max and I guess his new coworker or coworker, I don't know. But to see that place also grow from what it was, and Esteban like envisioning too of like, oh, this is the way the building's gonna be. This is how rehearsal is growing, and this is how we can grow. And in my, very respectfully, in my mind, also like, oh, like building off of the shows that we had at the other role rehearsals, like we can get even bigger, we can get better. It's like, oh, we can come with all these ideas. Like this is how we can go about like financing. This is how we can go about like just building everything even more up. We invested. I got a loan. We put wood flooring into this place that we didn't need to do it, but we just, not just me and Esteban, but I think by this time me and Esteban were obviously the oldest people in the group. There was so much, I think, passion and determination really to like, man, we're seeing all this grow, let's do it. So seeing that, it's like we put a lot into it, I think. Obviously, and yeah, I think very respectfully, maybe we just put, I don't know, whatever it was, but we all, I think, added something to the pot. And it was so great. I thought it was like, man, like this is the start of something just amazing. And maybe I already knew, but not to be a downer. But, you know, for Matt, I think, oh, so I know this backtrack a little bit, but Alan ended up having to leave too because he ended up teaching how to snowboard, actually. But anyways, Alan, I hope you're doing well. And keep enjoying that snow. Matt, I think it was also temporary for him because he ended up moving to Nashville. I think Nashville, I can't remember, but he ended up moving as well. A little bit after we moved into this new studio. He and maybe I already saw it, but maybe it's just like I felt bad because now that I think about it, me and Esteban were like, oh, like we have all these great ideas, and then maybe for not everybody to feel the same way or feel like for whatever it was, like because Amber also eventually had to move on as well. She just had her own thing that she had to do, and it was tough. It was tough to now that I think about it, to have this kind of high. It's like, oh, this album, like, oh, these shows are getting even better. Everything just kind of culminating, and it's like not realizing, I guess, that like that maybe it was, I don't want to say it was too lofty because I think we did pretty well, but again, things happen, and yeah, eventually Amber and Matt had to go. They recorded their parts in a day for an album that me and Esteban have not finished. Maybe that's the only thing that I'm calling both of us out on. But bro, we need to finish that album one day. If it doesn't, that's life. But if anyone's ever seen us play during that time, this is just me, but I felt like that was also very magical because the music was just even exploring new ground. And when Ellabrew was a really great spot that we would perform at. I loved Ellabrew. Tanya, hope you're well. But within all this excitement, there's again that sense of like, man, like, da 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 da. Oh no. I'm gonna take one more break in a bit. And it might be the last video after this next one. But I think that's where things started to show like, okay, I don't know what it was. But I think this is eventually where this started to kind of grow in me. That I don't know, I guess maybe just things needed to change. Yeah. I'll finish up on the next video.